Hello, plant friends. In the last episode, Vivian showed us her techie hacks for the IKEA Millsbo cabinets. In this episode, we get a closer look at her plants. So, tell us about what substrate you have them in.
Yeah, so when I'm working with plants that have weak or no roots, I generally use sphagnum moss. I find that to be the most easy for me to work with and I have the most successful. This plant right here, I have it in water because the moss wasn't working, so I'm trying a few different mediums.
Is this the white princess?
Yeah, so this is a white princess. The back is a red moon. This is also a white princess, that's a pink princess, and another white princess at the back.
Okay, so it's almost a princess.
It's a princess shelf, yes.
Okay, so the ones that are rooting are mostly in sphagnum, and then occasionally
like
in
water if I really, if the moss really is not working. Yeah.
And how often do you have to water the moss or keep the moss moist in this
I
environment?
find that so I had to do it more often before. I put these saran wraps on the top.
Oh, yeah.
With the saran wraps, honestly, it's about maybe once a month that I would need to kind of spray or water them. But
once a month is great.
It's great, yeah. That's why I love moss, because with regular water, I find I have to change it out every few days. But with moss, like I just kind of leave them, and then they're pretty happy, honestly. But without this at the top, because of the fan, I find that they get dry pretty fast within a week or two. You can see.
Once a month, I love that regimen.
Yeah, you can see there's a little fuzzy root right here coming out. So this one's happy. The others are still kind of in the process of growing.
Yeah, and I like the clear containers. I mean, they're just cups, right?
Yeah.
But the clearness, it helps you
exactly monitor, if something
the...
is going wrong.
Right.
Yeah, I think at some point earlier in my journey with like planthood, I was super into pots and all the cute things, and now I'm just like, let me find some clear cups and they can grow in this. Yeah, you can see pretty much most of my plants are in clear.
It's funny because you're going towards more budgeted stuff, but it actually is also usually not usually but sometimes better.
Right, exactly.
Like it's cheaper and better score.
Right? Yeah,
it's a win-win.
Honestly, and I think eventually though, when these plants do get bigger and I want to decorate around the house, I would probably get more decorative pots. Yeah.
And then these are your Alocasia. They look so good.
Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, super. Look at this guy, super good, and it's like new stuff is coming out.
Yeah.
So what's your secret to Alocasia?
a lot of people have asked me this, but honestly, I have no idea. I treat them the exact same as all my other plants. And actually, let me bring over this one. It's my baby. It's a little bit sad, but it has some nice leaves.
Look at this.
Yeah.
You see good roots there. Ooh. I don't want to be the cause of bad leaves.
For sure.
But yeah, super nice. Okay, let me see. I love those guys. The green dragons.
Yeah. The dragon skills. I feel like they actually look like what dragon skills would look if they exist.
They're so good. Yeah, I love that.
Yeah, I love alocasias. I love jewel alocasias best. You can see here, and then over there I have a black velvet as well.
Yeah, the black velvet's a good one. A good I would say budget starter.
It is, yeah, and
Alocasia.
It feels so velvety. I think texture on leaf is such a fun thing because you just want to touch them.
Yeah,
it feels interesting.
Yeah, I think that the statement of the black velvet is. It's great for the price.
It is. It really is.
Right. But I mean the one that you're holding. Ooh.
This is my baby. Right. I love it much. And people always ask what do you do differently? And honestly, when I bought it kind of big already. And I actually just never took it out of its substrate. So I just watered it once a week, and it just kept growing. So as a result, I was like, I don't know. But I recently did repot this because it was getting kind of big. But it's the same as my philodendrons and my anthuriums. They're all, just I make my own mix. It's cocoa core, charcoal, orchid bark,
Now
and perlite.
let's see if we can take a look at that.
Yeah, and actually I can.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, this one has a bit of moss because I do find they might like it a little bit more.
Right, so
wet.
moss just basically keeps it, I think, moist.
Yeah, I don't often use it because I do feel like it could keep the substrate too wet, but I do think maybe for this plant itself, it does
Yeah, you
enjoy
have
that.
a lot of chunky perlite or
Exactly.
charcoal there. So when you use charcoal, do you buy a special type of charcoal?
I use horticulture charcoal from Amazon.
Okay.
I just find whatever's available. I don't really look for anything in particular. Yeah, I just kind of buy whatever has good reviews online.
Right. I think that's kind of how I am too. Some people are very particular, and I think there's probably reason to be, but I don't know those reasons. So.
Yeah, I know, like, some people use rainwater to water their plants too, and they say, it's works wonder, but
Right.
I just use tap water
Well,
and they're okay.
I don't have rainwater, so.
Yeah, I mean, we're in California. It's rare to have rain.
The silver dragons, your alocasias look so healthy.
Oh, thank you so much.
Yeah, I'm assuming from the moss that's the algae or the moss that's growing in here that it probably stays moist. How often do you water something like this?
Once a week.
Once a
I
week,
water every single thing here once a week.
Okay, well,
Yeah.
all right.
It's the same schedule for all my
right.
plants.
Okay, and then let's see your anthuriums. So so you have philodendrons up here, alocasia, and then anthuriums.
Yes.
Which did you gravitate towards first?
First, I would say philodendrons for
Okay.
sure. I think philodendrons are just the easiest plant to get into, and also like they're I don't know, I think they're the least finicky compared to all the other species. And then I fell in love with alocasias. But I hear a lot of those, horror stories on, they attract spider mites,
Right.
they're very finicky, so I was a bit scared, but then it's like, I'll start with the black velvet. And then it came, and it was actually the black velvet and the Micholiziana are the two of my first tropical plants, besides the philodendrons, and they were, they grew fine. This one is getting kind of leggy. So.
That's a Freydeck? Is that
Yeah, so the Freydeck is the variegated version of it. So it's technically a misnomer. They're called Micholiziana, and if it has variegation, then that's a Freydeck.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so, and then I find that alocasias seem to like me, so I got a bunch more.
They seem to like you a lot.
Yeah, and then
cow.
I only got into anthurium, I think, really recently.
Okay.
Yeah, I like them, but then I wasn't super in love with them, so I just been collecting philodendrons and alocasias, and then I started, getting it back into this, and now I'm just super obsessed with the just forgetii and the forgetii hybrids.
Right.
The close sinuses are so cute. That's my favorite.
Oh yes, yeah. I think
Yeah.
right. I think when you're talking about closed sinuses, this is a closed sinus, and this
Exactly.
is an
open one.
opened.
Yeah.
This part right here.
Yeah, so I have this big one right here, and then there's a smaller one here, and then this one at the top is a hybrid. This is a forgetii and magnificent hybrid.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's huge.
Ooh.
Yeah, it has
Sweet.
such pretty leaves.
Right.
Yeah,
That's very nice.
it's one of my favorites.
You
for
are
sure.
you are rocking. You are rocking the indoor plant game. Okay, I think this is seems to be working really well for you. Though I mean your plants are doing well outside. your
Yeah,
cabinet
I haven't had much
as well.
problem acclimating pretty much all of them. And I do think it's probably because the plants that I do get are not the most finicky. Like, like the queen anthurium, I probably would never get that because I hear it, requires a lot of high humidity. But I think these, honestly, I can put them all out right now and they should be fine. It's more of an aesthetic right now for me to leave them in there.
I do like that, you take into consideration before you buy the plants that you think would do well in your environment and, the plants that you're more comfortable with, the plants that won't stress you out as a you know, buy in consideration instead of just buying stuff because it's the hot thing or you like it.
Yeah, I honestly, you know, like I do get sucked into some of it. Definitely, there's a hype to it.
Let me
Close
this for you because I don't want to.
Oh yeah, no, don't worry about it. I just like I leave it open sometimes, and it honestly hasn't really like affected it.
Yeah.
But I don't really like some of the very, you know, hype or rare plants like the Monstera obliqua.
Yeah, obliqua.
Obliqua. There's also like the Addisonii, variegated Addisonii. Like those are cool, but I feel like they're just more holes than leaves, and I like more leaves than holes.
Right. That is a criticism.
Yeah. The Spiritus Sancti I think is kind of ugly. You know, don't at me. I don't like those. But yeah, I just kind of grab, you know, some of the things that I do get, that they, you know, that are hype. I got them because I like them. I find that if I get something that I don't really care about, I'm just gonna kill it. I don't know. I just don't care enough about it, and then it just dies.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, you have plenty of hip plants though.
Yes.
You know,
yeah,
the,
for sure.
the dragon scales, the Forgetii.
Mm-hmm.
I think anthurium hybrids of basically any type with a cool leaf is in these days.
Mm-hmm.
El Choco.
Yeah. This is a prop from my El Choco tree over there.
El Choco. This is. Whoo. How old is this one, or how long have you had this?
I've had it for maybe almost. Is it a year? Maybe less than a year. Maybe 8 months.
Holy cow.
And when I first got it, it looked like, you know, the prop that I just took from it. So I got this right here. It's about this size, and then 8 months later, it's that big.
You went from
Like
something
this
like that
to
this huge thing in 8 months.
Yeah.
Holy cow! I mean, it's got to be what, the light that you just have so much light here.
I guess so. And also the thing is, the first time I propagated this, it grew. It activated 3 different growth, and then I end up cutting. So this is actually one of the top from the corner right here that I cut that never grew back, but the other 2 kept growing. So you can see right here, it has 2 active growth points.
Let me see.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, right.
Yeah,
But these
so
are these are
then
2 plants, right?
No, it's 1 plant.
Oh, it's
yeah,
one
I know.
plant.
It looks like 2. Unless a second one hijacked while I bought it, it should be 1 plant. Yeah.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Have you repotted it since you've gotten it?
Yeah, it was in a very small. It was pretty root bound when I first got it, so I've repotted it maybe twice since. Yeah, so this is kind of recent. This is the most recent repot.
Do you do any fertilizing?
I do. Yeah. I lightly fertilize my plants once a week. I do CalMag, and there's this Tazula fertilizer. It's kind of blue in color that I use. And then I also do top dress all of these with worm compost.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is that different from worm castings?
I think it's like the same thing.
All right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So I buy that from Amazon as well. Just top it, and then every week I just lightly fertilize them.
Right.
Even in the winter, I do fertilize them.
Wait, how often are you fertilizing?
Once a week.
Once a week. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I can't. I mean, I normally don't ever what do you call it? Tell people to fertilize that much, but I mean, your plants look way better than mine, though. I mean, geez.
I think definitely the problem with over fertilizing is fertilizer burn, and I find that with this one, at least the ones that I've been using, I haven't had trouble with it. So and I had an advice from one of the sellers too, that she said her secret is to lightly fertilize consistently. So I decided to try to do
right. I think when people say that, it's more of a they do a very diluted, so much more dilute than recommended, and they do it.
I think that's
more
kind
often.
of where I'm at. Yeah,
I
do not heavily fertilize every week. They're pretty diluted.
This is the El Choco that like people dream of having. I mean, goodness. Whew.
It's like, is it bigger than my head?
It's so good. It's one of my favorite plants. I love it.
Yeah.
I love it so much. It's hard not to love the colors, the
velvet.
Veins, right? The velvet, the shape of the leaves, the wrinkles.
Definitely was surprised at how velvety it is, because I thought it would feel like a gloriosum, which I have at the top there, but it's a lot more velvety than that.
Right. All right. Yeah. There's really nothing. I can't complain.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's great.
Thank you.
Yeah, and I was just looking at your mix. Super. There's no soil in this, right?
There's cocoa coir, but that's it. Yeah, I
But
don't
no
use actual potting soil.
Right.
For it, I find that every time I use potting soil, I do get a lot of fungus gnats. So that's why I decided to make my own because I'm like, okay, they weren't there when I put them together. If
Right.
there are fungus gnats, then they came from
Right.
external sources.
I mean, yeah, I think people just need to stay away from potting soil. Because,
Yeah.
there's just like so many. I feel like plants just do better overall without potting soil.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
And you can see this is the same mix as I did for my alocasias.
Mm-hmm.
They're all the same thing. Yeah.
All right.